So here we are 30 years later, and the band was obviously, I knew that I wanted to do it. I knew I wanted to combine early music and punk and express a lot of powerful ideas. I came to the band with songs that I had already written, and the first song I actually wrote for Barnstormer once we formed was this. And I wrote this during the siege of Sarajevo in 1995, when NATO and basically multinational capitalism destroyed the Socialist Federation of Yugoslavia in the name of freedom, turned a peaceful country where people were intermarrying and living together in peace and harmony, brotherhood and unity, as Comrade Tito said, into a charnel house. And my friends Leibach, who I first met in 1986 at Cherry Records in London, Leibach from Yugoslavia, still from Yugoslavia, 30 years on, did the most incredible concert I saw 3 weeks ago in London at the Islington Town Hall. But at that time, they performed under siege in Sarajevo, attacked by the fascist nationalists from Serbia. And I wrote the song at the time, it's called Sarajevo. So here we go. economy. What we throw in the sacrifice of the dark, there's no more. We want a war back, we want a war back, can we have a war back, please? Cheers. Right, now we go back to, well, we go back to 1649, and Petters are back, Blood Lies Power. The execution of Charles I basically brought about a complete revolution, obviously, in people's thinking in this country, because people had been brought up with the idea of the divine right of kings, that the king was God's emissary on earth, and when you chop off the king's head, anything's possible. And the radical ideas of the levellers and the diggers and the rantlers spread across the country until they were destroyed by Cromwell, who had come to power as the leader of a revolutionary army, and the common people thought they would be getting more justice, some semblance of a beginning of democracy, a beginning of a better life. In fact, all they got was the kind of the pleasures, the beer and the Christmas taken away, and it was like being ruled by a combination of Morrissey and the Taliban, basically. But I wrote this. This is the opening track of the Barnstormer 1649 album Restoration Tragedy, which deals with all this stuff. And this is called the March of the Levellers, which is actually a piece of early music that I wrote myself on a biscuit tin and a recorder in Harlow in 1982, followed by the Diggers song set to the arrangement of Chumbawamba, and then The World's Upside Down, the great song by Lil Rossison. Here we go. Cavaliers by name, your dignity maintain, and persons old fame. Stand up now, diggers all. Your houses they tear down. Stand up now, stand up now. Your houses they tear down. Stand up now. Your houses they tear down. So fight your men in town. But the gentry must come down, and the poor shall wear the crown. Stand up now, diggers all. With spades and hoes and plows. Stand up now, stand up now. With spades and hoes and plows. Stand up now. Your freedom to uphold. See Cavaliers are bold to kill you if they could, and rights from you to hold. Stand up now, diggers all. The gentry all round. Stand up now, stand up now. The gentry all round. Stand up now. The gentry all round. Are these sorry they are found? Their vision so profound to keep us to our ground. Stand up now, diggers all. The clergy they come in. Stand up now, stand up now. The clergy they come in. Stand up now. The clergy they come in and say it is a sin that we should now begin our freedom for to win. Stand up now, diggers all. The lawyers they can join. Stand up now, stand up now. The lawyers they can join. Stand up now. To arrest us they arise, to fury they rise. The devil in them lies, and has blinded both their eyes. Stand up now, diggers all. Lawyers they can stand up now. The George's Hill, a ragged band that goes in his fame to show the people's will. They defy the landlords, they defy the laws. They want to dispossess the slave of what was theirs. We come in peace, they said, so didn't so. We come to work the lands in common, and to make the waste of soul is divided. We will make whole, so it can be a common treasury for all. The sin of property, we do this day. No man has any right to buy and sell the earth. The private paid by death and murder. They took the land. Now everywhere the walls spin up the their command. They make the laws, they train us well. The clergy gather us in heaven, or they gather us in hell. We will not worship this God they serve. We'll not agree with things that is wrong or but starve. We work with each other, we need no swords. We will not bow to the masters, nor play rent to the lords till we are free. Though we are poor, we need us all stand up for God. Stand up now. At the end of the Civil War, when the new model army made the law, most of the medical rulers grew. Nevertheless, niggers, wenches too, the Western Republic are much, much more. Freely, politics, both from the poor, treaty of land and rent for all. New and short with Charles' rule, and Cornwall, his property friends to take up power of their own hands. Property was just the biggest strike, still to the poor and man alive. The running was already in the train, where he was going to smack their bank. The poor was going to swallow the Lord, smash it down, fire and sword. Our soundman Ginger ordered me to leave it off the stage, and so it didn't get spilled while we were setting up. It's the right thing to do, obviously.
John, can I do some audience for participation?
Sorry?
can I do some audience participation? Could you pass my phone to the audience on top of your hand?
Sorry,
Pass my phone to the audience, to me, thank you. Yeah, cheers. I mean, because all those pictures I need to take to you know. Saves me looking through. Pass it amongst yourselves, have a look.
Don't look at what's on Ginger's phone, no. It was at the Land of Green Ginger. Last night we stayed in the Land of Green Ginger in a hole, literally. And it wasn't even deliberate. It was, I looked up on booking.com and that's what the apartment was called. So he came home. I give a big hand to Ginger, who's done a wonderful job on sound for us for many years now. It's not easy doing the sound for an early music punk band. This song's about Wellingborough Wigan. It's about the origins of the digger movement in Wigan, where Gerald Stanley, the leader of the diggers, was born. And it's about Wellingborough, which is one of the centres of digger resistance outside London in 1649. Here we go. This is the bass recorder, for those who were wondering. Just a great big version of the horrible things that kids get given at school. That shall be banned from being played by anyone under the age of 12, unless they sign a legally binding document that they're going to play it properly.
Stockbroker and Wellingborough and
Well, when I started in 1980 solo, I called myself a ranting poet along with the late great Seeding Wells, little brother Jules Denby, Dino the Frog. There's a chap here earlier on who bought me a pint. And remember, we were talking about Sean Meadows, aka Dino the Frog, from Sheffield, who sadly passed away some time ago, who was an absolute legend, who was a complete nutter, but a wonderful, lovely bloke. And I was at his funeral, and we were talking about that. So this song's dedicated to Dino. It's about a guy who the spirit of whom Dino was very much appreciated. A guy called Abiezer Coppe. You can see the t-shirt here. Abiezer Coppe was the leader of the Ranters of 1649, the most libertarian and extreme of all the radical groups which grew up. So, as I say, you start off with a situation where you've got the divine right of kings, you chop off the king's head, anything is possible. And Abiezer Coppe said, God is dead, your church is your local pub, you can drink as much as you want and shag anyone you like. And he drew peanut shells at priests. And I agree with all of it, apart from that. I'm very monogamous, but all the other stuff, absolutely 100% totally. And he sort of stood up to Cromwell, stood up to Fairfax, and eventually was chucked into Newgate prison. This is the story of the leader of the Ranters, Abiezer Coppe. If you look carefully on the t-shirt, you will see that one of the things he enjoyed doing was dancing around either naked or half naked. And the t-shirt does bear witness to this. Should we say? And here we go. Good on you, Abiezer. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. For over 40 years. I've done about 4,000 gigs and drunk a lot of beers. Sometimes I have ranted and then partied till I drop. But I'm a fucking lightweight next to Abiezer Coppe. Abiezer was a ranter back in 1649. When he and Charles had lost his head, he drank his weight in wine. He shouted, top is bottom, and bottom shall be top. And then he got his knob out, Abiezer Coppe. Puritans were in control, but he showed them his arse. He stood up and fought for the poorest of his class, proclaiming God's inside you and all the rest is plop. Your church is your local pub, said Abiezer Coppe. The diggers as they ploughed in the mud. He found the perfect martyrs would be avenged in blood. They grew songs out of songs and poured them out non-stop. Then danced around naked with his friends, Abiezer Coppe. Standing in the diggers, disowned him one by one. He and his full renting crew continued to have fun. Until Fairfax sent the troopers round to finally put a stop. And into Newgate prison tumbled Abiezer Coppe. He rented no more. And for the next few centuries, historians gave the chop to the bold tale of the renters and Abiezer Coppe. Came the 1980s and our punk rock poet crew. Called ourselves the Raptors and we raised the ballyhoo. But though we were loud and beery and way over the top, we were sober and polite compared to Abiezer Coppe. Abiezer Coppe, the roaring rector of 1649! Cheers. But right now, okay, so I wrote this album, Restoration Tragedy, which is on sale at the back at the end as a vinyl version, which I forgot to get out as well, double album. It's all about the aftermath of the execution of Charles I, the escape of Charles II, who was Prince Charles then, of course, in 1651 from Shore and Port at the end of my road in West Sussex, which they're all really proud of. They have a Royal Escape yacht race, and some of you may be aware of a festival in Brighton, which is an indie festival. It's called the Great Escape Festival. Now, some people say it's about all the trendies coming out from London to infest our city. That's not true. They actually started it, they named it in honour of the escape of Charles II. And in Southwick, my home village, there's actually a house called King Charles's Cottage, where he's supposed to have stayed. He didn't, he stayed in Brighton. But everyone's really proud of this. And it's time to redress the balance. So this year, in October, which is the date in 1651 when he escaped to France, I am holding in our local Rocktack Last Centre a Good Riddance Day, a festival of anti-Charles II sentiment against the whole royal nonsense, because if it'd been strung up, and the whole thing would have finished there and then, as it should have done. Instead, he came back in 1660, and in a slightly modified form, the bollocks carried on. Now, I actually, when I was writing this album, I dreamt that the reason he managed to escape to France was because I was part of the Roundhead militia in Shore and Port, and I got too pissed, and he got away. So this is genuinely true, and I wrote this song about my dream. It's called The Fisherman's Tale. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Fisherman from Southwick by the sea, and it was in my sleep one night the story came to me. Well, when you know we fishing folk on two coasts left to sing, I dream I travel back in time and nearly caught a pig. I try my luck in Shore and Port, and it'll be and key, the banks of the River Ada, that had a pint or three in the scooter at the wedding, but they weren't built back then. As I stayed at home, I saw some shady-looking men. Now one was tall and swarthy. I recognised his face. Stopped to wait for early troops as fast as I would race. Cause in our little harbour, right there before my eyes, I'd seen the royal traitor on Patterson's surprise. We're all a tangle, my mind a tangle too. I had a revelation, or 10, a lovely brew. They shouted out, it's Charles, sometimes I'm sick. But they just said, you're a pistol. No, I won't have a pip. No, I am a proper leveller. I made a withstand me. But that night in my slumbering thoughts, the beer had leveled me. I couldn't get my words out. I'm glad I'm happily wed. It's my life came and carried me and took me home to bed. I woke up the next morning, and they kicked out the gate, and soon the news was everywhere about the royal escape.
You should be bloody pissed.
Said someone with a kick.
If you don't quite my tour, you'd be sure of dick.
My name is John, a fisherman from Southend by the sea. And it was in my sleep one night, the story came to me. I fished at Southend Harbour on right where we sailed, they say. But this is just another tale of one that got away. Cheers. So now everybody, it's time for the first time of this tour to bring out the mighty crumb horn and to introduce you to this instrument, which came into the culture in about 1420 and was obsolete by about 1660, around the time of the Restoration, to be replaced, among many other things, by the oboe. And in a minute I'm about to demonstrate why it became obsolete, basically. But this is a song, again from the album Restoration Tragedy. It's an a cappella number with only the crumb horn, the only instrument, apart from our voices. This is the story of Major General Thomas Harrison, one of the most feared general in the New Model Army, very much involved in the defeat of the Royalists, who actually took part. He escorted Charles to London as a prisoner in 1649, and he was one of the signatories. He was number 17th of the signatories of the death warrant. And in 1660, when the king skulked back, aided by the traitor Monk, to continue the infestation of royalty in this country, there was an act of oblivion was passed, which basically said that everyone who was involved in everything that took place during the Commonwealth would be pardoned, apart from the people who signed the death warrant. And there were 57 of them, and they were then condemned to death by hanging, drawing, and quartering. So of course, most of them fled. Thomas Harrison, being totally hard to stay where he was picked up, and in October 1660, if you read the diary of Samuel Pepys, Pepys describes how he went to Southwark to see the execution of Major General Thomas Harrison, and describes how Harrison was in as good humour as one could expect in the circumstances. And this is called Harrison. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Harrison was a lawyer, a friend of Cromwell he. In wartime a commander with the new model army. He rose to Major General and bravely led the line. Brought Charles to London prisoner in 1649. This song's for Thomas Harrison, a bold and steadfast man, a rebel to the bitter end and staunch Republican. His gruesome fate our history had never seen before. Hung, drawn and quartered by a foe he thrashed in war. Hung, drawn and quartered by a foe he thrashed in war. Signed the King's death warrant, 17th of 51. And when the second Charles returned, another war he won. He led his men up Worcester, where Parliament held sway, then chased the King to Shoreham, from where he skulked away. This song's for Thomas Harrison, a bold and steadfast man, a rebel to the bitter end and staunch Republican. His gruesome fate our history had never seen before. Hung, drawn and quartered by a foe he thrashed in war. Hung, drawn and quartered by a foe he thrashed in war. The well-made law protector, Harrison made a stand. 4 times condemned to prison at his old friend's command. He sided with the levellers against the grandee's might. Said if not for equality, why did the army fight? This song's for Thomas Harrison, a bold and steadfast man, a rebel to the bitter end, a staunch Republican. His gruesome fate our history had never seen before. Hung, drawn and quartered by a foe he thrashed in war. Hung, drawn and quartered by a foe he thrashed in war. When Monk the traitor brought the King back, Harrison did not flee. Arraigned us regicide, he said, you mostly did as me. It was the will of Parliament, condemned to hang and bleed. He punched the executioner, who carried out the deed. This song's for Thomas Harrison, a bold and steadfast man, a rebel to the bitter end and staunch Republican. His gruesome fate our history had never seen before. Hung, drawn and quartered by a foe he thrashed in war. Hung, drawn and quartered by a foe he thrashed in war. Hung, drawn and quartered by a foe he thrashed in war. Hung, drawn and quartered by a foe he thrashed in war. Hello. I'll take something of the old London 67. Come on, everybody. I'm doing my early music show more and more. I'm doing my early music show at Rebellion for the first time this year with my good friend Callum Baird from Scotland playing guitar accompaniment, and I'm also doing it in Brighton in a few weeks as part of our new festival we've got. Anyway, so now we're going to move to the completely different side of things. And no, actually, before we do that, we're going to do this. This is a song about it's a kind of an English rebel song from 1381 and 1990, because it's about 2 poll taxes and 2 peasants' revolts. And it may be the best song I've ever written. I'm very prolific in my poems, so I write far more poems and songs. But I love this song, and I wrote it in 1990, and this is called Tyler Smiles. An awful far. long will the spectre ever go away? 100,000 garden gnomes outside 100,000 homes are standing on their own 2 feet today. Goes flying toes out, just the wine, back from home the line, the same song, with a few new chords, but how is you just friendly home, and all this road is rolling in the breeze. And smile, through the acid rain, and the kids on fire, crash, it never really went away. And smile, on the big dream, never die. Still, I'm gonna fight just today. Smile. And if it's really over, and the sun's coming to downstairs, she'll go to Eastern Europe. Oh, they really love her there. The former lecture and the iron curve. Then smile, and the Labour leaders close their miles. For what's the name of their own history? Smile, and an angry cloud that miles and miles. It got the lady, got come, finally. Smile and smile. Thank you, I'm really enjoying this like you're on. A bit earlier, rather doing it at the end, 30 years, fucking hell, it's a long time to have a band. 45 years, it's a long time to living as a doing what you love. I mean, I've done my living for 45 years, doing something I do as a hobby if I could earn a living out of it. And I get my pension now and I'm doing even more gigs than ever. I'm not, anyone who knows me well, or even a little bit, will know that I am not retiring in any sense of the term, and I never will be. Anyway, can we have first of all an incredible round of applause for the one who has been with me every single gig, This band could not exist without him. He may fart a lot, and he may be a bit lazy when it comes to getting up in the morning, but he is the best fucking drummer I've ever met, let alone fucking played with. Please, on the drums, Mass Murderer McGee. And on bass, the veritable Brighton Star, the singer of Too Many Crooks, the bass player of Barnstormer, Cookie. And the guitar, the newest and youngest member, half my age, and playing riffs that I recognise from when I was doing my O-levels in 1972 in the sound checks, because he's really in the early 70s stoner rock. On the guitar, Sean the Hippie. And over there, fresh from the land of green ginger, our soundman and driver and all-round organiser, Ginger. Hey Dave. Anyway, thanks very much for coming. So now, and one more thing, important. Out over there, as you go out, and can we also have a great big round of applause for Ross from Steve White and the Protest Family, who organised tonight's gig and really done a really great job. And as you go out, there's copies of my 2004 spoken word and music album, Live in Belfast, recorded, unsurprisingly, live in Belfast, which are free. And I'm very proud of it. but it's been out for 24 years, and it has sold as many copies as it's going to sell, and it's been sitting in the attic the last couple of hundred, and I want them to go rather than the kids have to clear them out when I snuff it. So please take a copy. It's got loads of that old hits in it, like Rushes into the HSS and the Spencer's Croft Cat, which had Baghdad. Baghdad means something completely different now. Baghdad it's quite it's sort of prophetic. So to have a copy of that on your way out for free, and the new CDs are over there, and for every new Barnstormer CD or newish Barnstormer CD you buy, you get an old one for free as well. So it's the spring clear out, because as we all know, CDs are less kind of happening than they were. Personally, I don't listen to CDs, it's all vinyl and streaming for me now. I've just got the new Nightingales album, it's fucking amazing, I've just been listening to it. Anyway, right, so here we go with, we'll finish off with that. I've just got to check, we've got to finish still on 11. Just want to check my phone. We've got 15 minutes. Okay. 15 minutes. 14. Right. Time flies, you know. It really does. When you talk as much as I do. You should hit the 3-hour solo sets. Well, you should have been there, or maybe not. Maybe you shouldn't have been there at the Evening Star in 2004 when I did a 10.5-hour sponsored gig without a pause. I even took the mic in the toilet with me to raise money for our beloved Brighton of Albion, who are there on bottom of everything and now are fighting to get a place in Europe. The next year we'll be playing Leeds again, I'm sure. Last time we played Leeds. I was actually Rabina came with me, and there was water. We thought, why are people sprinkling us with water? But it was a Leeds fan on the bridge above where we were standing, who was urinating on us, which is very cool, not it? Anyway, so I'm going to go. Let's do Baghdad Ska, a bit of Ska. This was 2000. Oh, sorry, it was 1990. So it was 2003. Yeah, obviously 2003, Baghdad Ska. Cheers. Right, two more. This is the love song. Coming up to our 25th wedding anniversary, well, I'm in Arena. British didn't really like punk rock, she doesn't like beery pubs. She doesn't like loud, shouty men who are constantly fucking organising things. She likes quietness and reading and classical music. And we've been married to each other for 25 years and we don't know very much. This is called Just One Life. We've got time for one more. And it is the one. But I know it's weird and unbelievable, really, but in 2000, we were in a film in Germany. It was produced at the Bavaria Film Studios. It's called Doppelpack, es war auf Deutsch. Deswegen gab es fast keine fans in England. It was in German, so there are hardly fans in England. Well, that many fans in Germany, but it was released as a massive, great big project on major cinemas. And it was actually about two blokes who get pissed to come to one of our gigs and literally meet a girl, and that's all that happened in it. But it was actually really funny. And this was the opening of the film, and it's a song that I actually sort of co-opted from my friend Richard Strange, who was in the Doctors of Madness, and a great songwriter and a good mate. And he wrote this in a completely different form, and I sort of borrowed it and changed it all around and changed the words. And it's called I Won't Run Away, and it's kind of sums up, it's my theme tune really, I guess. And as I'm 67, doing this for 45 years, sometimes wondering how I've still got the energy levels I have. All I know is I've still got them, they're still there, so long may I continue. And it's called I Won't Run Away.
Free.
And indeed we have, because we are organised and disciplined. Brotherhood and unity to all. I'm going over there, if you want to buy any of the stuff, I'll be over there having a chat, and then we'll be having some beer, and then we'll be going off. So thank you very much to Cheryl and Vic for having us. And then tomorrow we're heading off to Halifax via Ossett, and then on Sunday we're playing Leeds.